Okay, so I believe I am audible. And let me quickly check. Just give me a couple of minutes because I have to just verify that I am audible or not. And and after that, obviously, we are going to get started. After that, we are going to obviously get started. And let me quickly check that. And unfortunately, I think I'm not able to see the particular uh, which videos. I'm not sure why I'm not able to check myself. Give me a couple of minutes. Okay. So obviously, I hope someone is like the person who is waiting here. I just want to mention few things that I am going to be live. I'm just waiting to check if I'm able to hear myself and if I'm audible. And obviously, if someone else is listening to me, obviously they can let me know if I'm audible. And I'm pretty much sure that I am. Yeah, I'm audible. I think the voice is a bit low. So I'll be just making sure that I can increase the voice right now a little bit. I just want to make sure that the background noise which is in my society right now is not audible for everyone. So that is the concern I'm having. Let me quickly check that. Making sure that I can increase the voice right now a little bit. Yeah, that is fine. Yes, that is fine. Fine. So let's quickly get started with what we are going to discuss, like how to build career in cloud computing. Obviously, we are going to focus a lot on that. We are going to focus a lot on that. And this is actually a very important field as per, because when you're a fresher, it becomes a challenge. And for some reason, I'm not able to click here. Yeah. So as I mentioned, we are going to discuss how to build career in cloud computing as fresher. And obviously, if you have some questions, I would suggest that you put that in the comment down, put them in the comment section, because obviously not all questions can be answered simultaneously right now. So please make sure that if you have some confusion or any questions, you can obviously reach us and you can let us know what is your confusion and what is your query. So let's quickly get started what we are going to discuss and what we are going to focus on. So quickly let's understand what we are going to discuss. So we will be discussing about the future aspect of cloud computing, where this is coming from and how the things are happening in this particular industry. Secondly, we are going to have the industry perspective, like why there is such a talk related to cloud computing jobs, especially if we talk about these days. Then we are going to look into the career growth. So what kind of a career growth can you expect as a fresher? Because obviously this sort of a webinar is all the people, for the people who are freshers. Then we are going to focus on assessing your expertise. Obviously it is not access your expertise, it is going to be assessing your expertise. I made it like a mistake there. Then we are going to discuss on choosing domain in cloud, because we have to understand, we have to find out what is the right domain we have to choose in cloud, because obviously we cannot go everywhere. So this is something we have to understand. And after that, choosing your path in cloud, because usually what happens, if we don't have the right set of path, okay, that is going to make a challenge for us in the longer run. So we have to assess ourselves. Obviously we have to make sure that we are choosing a right path, and finally we have to make sure that the path is actually correct, it's not like somewhere in the different line. And obviously we have to create the action plan for that, because without the action plan nothing is going to happen. Without the action plan nothing is going to happen. So we have to make sure that we are choosing the right action path also, and we are making the right action plan so that we can take the steps to actually reach into the career options which we are thinking of. And finally, obviously, the certifications track. So okay, Avinash, that is fine, you're discussing about what I'm supposed to do, but what about the certification track? So what kind of a certification I should be going ahead, we are going to discuss all these things in details. Okay, so let's quickly start with the future scope of it. Okay, let's quickly get started with the future scope of it. What is the future scope of cloud computing? So, as per the business standard, there is a report that around 2.4 lakh jobs will be by 2023. So this is almost end of Feb of 2022. So within 10 months we are going to reach to this particular location where we can expect huge amount of opportunities coming into cloud computing. Now obviously we have included a link. So if I'm going to go to this particular business standard link, you can see that they have actually quoted this, and this article is around from Feb of 2020. So this was just before the COVID era, so like this is around 2 years ago. So the prediction is actually quite right. The prediction is actually quite right. The reason behind that is, if I look into the other option, that is LinkedIn. So I have opened jobs related to cloud computing on LinkedIn, and you can see there are so many companies. Like currently IBM is posting related to cloud computing, and there are so many different companies which are actually hiring people for the role of cloud computing. So it is related to everything and anything on cloud. And the biggest part here is, a lot of companies are focusing on people who have core expertise in cloud computing compared to having just sort of an expertise. Now you can see we can differentiate. So like if I talk about in terms of an entry level job, I'm going to click. So like you can see around 14,000 jobs are available at the entry level. So you can understand basically what is happening with cloud computing. The opportunities are immense. There is sort of no stopping for the opportunities which are coming to us. So we have to understand and we have to assess our skill, like actually are we interested in this particular era, because in future everything is going to be on cloud. So we have to make sure that we are actually part of this, I should say, big opportunities which are coming to us. Okay, big opportunities which are coming to us, and making sure that we are actually taking the good care of it, and we are actually part of this career which is in future for us, in store for us. Okay, now let's try to understand the industry perspective, why industry is focusing on cloud, like why they are so much interested in cloud computing and different stuff, if I may. So first of all, it is very easy to get started, which is an obvious reason. It is very easy to get started with cloud. This is, I'm talking about from the perspective of an industry. They are the people who have some expertise. They are the people who are looking for people who have the expertise, and they are thinking, okay, let's plan the product in cloud. Then if we talk about the second part, obviously no upfront capital is required when you are moving on cloud as an industry. Then you can find talent from anywhere. This is very important. Okay, this is very important because you can find talent from anywhere, and like you are not limited to a certain location that okay, since our office is here, we have to find the talent here only. Then top paying jobs are almost everywhere. So again, sort of this third point and fourth point are related, because since you can find talent anywhere, top jobs are available from everywhere. And if I talk about in terms of location, so you can be an MNC, you can be a startup, you can be a small or a medium sized business. So you don't have to worry about as an individual, okay, where I'm going to find the job. So top paying jobs are available almost everywhere. Okay, now let's try to understand the career growth which we are actually focusing on. So as a fresher, if we talk about, so like let's say we give a very simple example. As a software developer, I'm going to make as a fresher around 4 lakh rupees a year. Obviously, this is an average salary. I'm not talking about the highest salary or lowest salary, but yes, on an average, this is the average salary you're going to make if you're going to start your career or start your journey as a software developer as a fresher. But on the other hand, if you're going to start your journey as a cloud computing fresher, your average salary is going to be around 7 lakh rupees per year. So you can see the kind of difference. Like obviously, I don't want to put any numbers, but you can assess and you can understand what actually is the challenge here. I should not say challenge, I should say that what kind of a challenge is here. So you can see as a cloud computing freshers, if you're going to start, your salary is going to be around 7 lakh rupees an year. So obviously everyone is excited right now. They are thinking, okay, what should I do? What is the best option available for me? So what is next? What you should do next? Well, first of all, we have to assess our current expertise. Now, if you are planning to make your career in cloud computing, you have to currently assess your expertise, where you are right now. Who are you currently? Are you a software developer? Are you a system design engineer? Who are you currently? Okay, so if you are a working professional, if you are a student, you are a 3 years experience guy, who are you actually? You have to currently assess that thing, because without assessing, it is not possible for you to make a judgment. Then when do you want to make the switch? Obviously a lot of people, when they reach us, they are confused, like, okay, should I go maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, maybe 5 months? Again, they are confused. So you have to be very sure when do you want to make the switch. Now after that, you have to understand that you have to choose a domain in cloud. You have to choose a domain in cloud. Okay, so there are so many domains in cloud. So there is an admin part, we have security part, we have big data part, we have database admin part, we have architect part, we have artificial intelligence part, we have blockchain part, we have automation part. So these are the few parts, if I may, which are actually the domain in cloud, and you as an individual have to decide what is the right option available for you. You as an individual have to decide what is the right option available for you. Where do you actually want to go? Because you cannot go everywhere. You cannot be a big data engineer, and you cannot be into artificial intelligence, and you cannot be into security at the same time. You cannot go into automation, you cannot go into security, or maybe you cannot go into artificial intelligence at the same time. So you have to choose where you want to go. And obviously, without assessing that, without understanding that, it is going to be impossible to make a career in cloud. Now if we talk about choosing your path in cloud, so these are the few career paths, if I may, which are available in cloud, and I want to discuss in detail. So you can see we have a career admin. So you can see the programming knowledge is not required. Okay, again, we are just giving an assumption. It is not that it is not required. We suggest that everyone should have a programming knowledge, but yes, if you don't have, as a cloud admin, you don't need a huge programming knowledge. This is obviously a beginner level job, and pay range is basically low compared to what other pay ranges we have in different cloud paths. Like if we talk about cloud architect, programming knowledge is obviously recommended. Level of job is intermediate to advanced, and obviously the pay range is mid to high. And if I talk about cloud automation, obviously the programming knowledge is required, cloud engineer programming knowledge is required, cloud software engineer programming knowledge is required. So you have to make sure that you have the programming knowledge as per the requirement. You can see the kind of level of job we are having and the pay scale we are having. So we have to be very sure that where is the actual path we should choose. Now if you don't have the programming knowledge, obviously you can make a career in it, but you have to understand where do you want to go then. And obviously, as I mentioned in the previous videos as well, and we have discussed in the various webinars as well, we have to make sure that we are actually moving into the right direction. Okay, so what is the action plan now we should take? So the action plan is, first of all, get the basics of cloud clear. If you don't have the understanding what is a cloud, it is going to be impossible for you to make the career in it. So you have to make sure that your basics of cloud are clear. Then get the first level of certification. Okay, so this is what we call the entry level of certification. After that, spend around 6 months to get the hang of cloud, to understand what is cloud and get the understanding of that particular cloud which you are learning. So like, let's say you go with ABC vendor, you will get the entry level certification for this ABC cloud provider, and in next 6 months you are going to learn about them. Then approach for the intermediate level of certification in your domain. So obviously after 6 months you will be approaching towards the intermediate level of certification, but this time you have to focus on the domain. You don't have to focus everywhere, you have to focus on the domain. And after that, you, after 12 to 18 months, you should be approaching towards the professional level of certification in your domain itself. So this is in short an action plan which you have to reach out. This is an action plan which you have to reach out, and this is the action plan which you should take. Now obviously the question is, what about the certification track? So we have 3 certification track. We have Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. Obviously we are not discussing about the other cloud vendors as well, but yes, these are the few certification tracks which we can focus on. So if I'm going to click on Amazon Web Services right now, and I think yeah, I'm in the right path. So you can see these are the various certification Amazon has. So like we have cloud practitioner, developer associate, solution architect, system administrator associate. So there are so many certification. So based on your understanding, based on your level of expertise, based on your domain, you should get the certification in this particular field. So obviously, like let's say if someone wants to become a, let me see, they want to go into the data part of it, like they want to become a data admin, or I should say they want to build the expertise in database administration. So obviously you will go for the cloud practitioner, which is an entry level. After that you should be targeting the uh, database specialty, and obviously data analytics specialty. So here what will happen, you will gain the good expertise in I would say data part of AWS. This is what you will be doing. And let me go back. Yes. Now if we talk about Microsoft Azure, so Microsoft Azure has actually made it quite simple. So like let's say if I want to become a data engineer, I'm going to click on that and I'm going to see what is the actual path I should be taking. So like Microsoft certifications, Microsoft Azure fundamentals, and Microsoft certified Azure data engineer associate. So this is the level of certification you should be getting in Microsoft Azure. And finally, if we talk about Google Cloud, so Google Cloud has a different way of explaining. Okay, so like you can see foundation level of cloud. Okay, I don't know what is happening. Foundation level, associate level, and then we have the professional level. So you can see a recommended experience is 3+ years in the industry experience, including 1+ year on Google Cloud. But obviously that is recommended. That does not mean that you have to wait for 3 years to get the certification. And obviously I'm expecting if anyone has any question, let me quickly check if someone has a question so I can answer them. Yes, as I mentioned, if you have any questions, you can put that in the chat of this particular video and we can answer that. Now, obviously, if you have any confusion, if you have some questions related to what is supposed to be the right path, in that case, I would be suggesting that you should reach to us, talk to our expert, and then discuss what is the right set of career or right set of path available for you. So with this, thank you very much for participating in our webinar, and we will see you in the next webinar.